What's up, party people? G5 Productions in the place to be. Superman First Class in the mix. Welcome to my desktop. Right now I'm on a platform and I got my desktop behind me. So I'm going to take you guys on a quick little tour. And I want to talk about something that's really particularly featured today, and that is the RF venue. Okay, party people, so out of the box we have the transmitter with the power cable. We got the rubberized feet, so when your desktop mount, you don't want to do that right there. And we have some BNC antenna cables and two BNC antennas, right? So by default, you just mount these on the back and call it a day. But if you wanted to rack mount and front mount this, then you can use these antenna cables from here to the front and from here to the front on the right side, right? So I like that it comes with these little rubber boots right here to keep things dust free when you're not using them. So shout out to RFNU for that. But we got a headphone monitoring output right here. It's a push type rotary knob here, and so is this one when you want to make changes and do all kind of cool stuff. And we have a sync button, setup button, exit, and you have a lock. So if you press and hold this, it locks the system. Nobody can come tinkering around with your stuff when you're not looking. And you have two switches. So this one right here where it says RF, first of all, you want to turn this on only when you're ready to send transmission from this system to your speakers, and then you have the main power, right? So although you could turn it on, go into your menu settings and get things the way you want it, it will not send any RF signal out of this thing until you turn on the switch. Over on the back side, we got two combi jacks right here, a channel 1 and a channel 2. We also have 1/4 inch out, so that's a loop out. So if you put audio into this, you can run audio out of here actually to some nearby monitors if you want to do that. So that's pretty cool. There's your power input right there, IC, the two BNC cables for antenna, and boom, there it is. And of course you have one on this side. There it is. And if you want to know the frequency range, it's listed right there. I also would like to talk about the components of the receiver, which is the power brick. You got this proprietary type of XLR cable, and so these are threaded, as well as the antennas, right? So no interchanging right there. And here are the antennas that are set up for threading. And then you have a couple of mounting options here. So you got the typical Velcro for your receiver. You just peel and stick right on the back, and then the other part goes to your speaker. I always put the grab side against any receivers, and I put the smooth side here on the speaker, because I put these in my speaker bags, and the grab side always grabbing onto the bag, so it's easier to just slide your speaker down right there. So that's what I'll be using today. But if you guys have 12mm threads on your speakers, you have another mounting option that's pretty cool, and that is this thing right here. So let's talk about this briefly. So the way this works is you have this little rubber in here that this part would go up against your speaker, and it would go pretty much in this orientation with these tabs up or down. And as you would mount to your speakers with these two tabs up or down, you basically would take this sideways and turn it to lock it in place. But before you do that, you would have to take this bolt and mount this into your surface. And as you can see here, it's kind of cut out that way, so this screw is recessed below the mounting point. So just if you're going to use this, make sure that it's 12mm thread, and then put that in like so, with the tab up and down, north and south, however you want to call that, right? So other than that, let's get this all set up, put the antennas on, get this hooked up real quick like. And listen, this is definitely a new type of setup for me, so I'm just gonna go ahead and screw this on and in place. And the exact same thing happens with the power. So just know this, while you probably can get a regular barrel connector to go in here and power it, as long as the milliamps are the same, just know that otherwise, for security purposes, this is threaded. I actually kind of like this thought process right here, because it just gives that much more peace of mind. I am used to my Alto Stealth, and I could just really pull those right out with no hesitation, right? So I do like the fact that this is secure like that, so I'm gonna probably need 2 hands to deal with that. So here's something that's really important for connections, right? Because you know, sometimes we like to force things, but you have an arrow here kind of etched into the threading of the receiver, but you have another arrow here on the XLR cable right there. So there's the end of it, and that way you don't get this wrong, because there are 3 pins, and if it's not fitting, don't force it, but just make sure you stick it in there real snug. And as you can see, we got a little bit of exposure right here on the O-ring right there. But the way you solve that is just simply take this plastic nut and get that nice and secure and thread it on, right? And make sure you guys understand that that is plastic, so it really should just be a nice little snug hand tight fit. Shouldn't be using any wrenches or pliers on that. And likewise with the power. And as for the antenna, just really just kind of put it in place, get the threads to line up, and turn it with your hand until it's nice and snug, right? And then of course you can 45 these out accordingly. I see a lot of people putting these straight up. I think I'm gonna adjust all mine to be at the 45 degree. So later on in the video, I'm gonna get you guys some real footage of the actual event. And if you wanna see the video for the full-blown tutorial on the RF venue PA expansion kit, be on the lookout for that video because it's coming soon. Here are the conditions so far. We are literally still in the setup phase. We got the media team doing everything. I was programming some lights, and I'm still am, so I gotta go get some uplighting and do truss warming and a couple of more columns on the wall warming, right? But other than that, I got all my programs almost set up. But here's my desktop. I got a total of 6 microphones, all Shure QLXDs with Beta 58 heads on them, and I have an SM58 head on my mic because that's what I want to personally talk on today. I got 2 paddle antennas facing towards the ring area, so I got the Phoenix Pro paddle antennas right here, as you guys can see. Boom. And I'm using Shure microphones, so if you guys are wondering, do they work? Absolutely, because here is the range of the antennas, and here's the range output of the distribution right here. So as you can see, we are covered, right? So as long as I stay within that range, I'm good to go. So I have a total of 4 mics racked here, and I also have 2 mics racked here. So there's 5 and 6. Now I have the RF venue PA expansion kit transmitter here, and I do have a single output, which I have as my center mix here, and it's going into channel 1 on the back right there. So even though it's only going into 1 channel, I did go into the settings and put the unit in mono mode, which means it's going to send that same mono signal to both receivers, even though they're on different channels. Receiver number 1, receiver number 2, and receiver number 1 is the furthest one away, just past the gentleman on the platform there. Receiver number 2 is close right there. You can see the antennas sticking up. Now what I did was I have turned down my main speakers and subwoofers on both sides, and there are no other speakers here except for the 2 in the middle. So what I'm going to do to demo for you guys is I'm literally just going to go here, turn up my middle speakers music a little bit, right? I don't want to blast the guys out, but we're going to go verify that I'm getting sound from here, which you can see metering on the unit, right? So if I mute, there's no more metering. And if I unmute, boom, there's metering, right? So now we're gonna go over here to the system and just take a quick listen to the audio. So at about 25 feet away, so I'm getting that audio out of my center output right here. So I route it inside the mixer to get that audio to come out that port. And then through this one cable, it's going up right here. And I label pretty much everything just for troubleshooting purposes for me. Now I have to figure out what's where and all this good stuff. So that just makes sense. So there it is, party people.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
Fighting from the blue team, fighting out of Fort Hood, Texas, Sergeant Cameron Rose! All right, fighting with the red team, fighting out of Fort Bliss, Texas. Private First Class Andreas Garcia.
So everything went very good for the night and we didn't have any problems. So I'm gonna just go ahead and first turn off the RF switch. So what that does is it stops sending signal over to my remote speakers. And now I can just turn this thing off without any pop sound. So that's pretty cool. Just like that, we're done. All right, party people, it's bonus gig time. So I wanted to share with you that I did have the RF venue mounted into my pedestal booth, and I used one of the two receivers on my subwoofer and top inside. And then from that subwoofer and top, I hardwired with an XLR cable over to the other side. So that's how I was able to take care of the audio in the building. And then of course, out on the patio, I have an Everse 8 that I used at the ceremony, but I moved it to the patio so I could use it for cocktail hour. And this speaker does power the RF venue receiver as well as a microphone. So I'm gonna let you guys take a quick listen. And now we're gonna head over to the spot where I was able to get good audio between the ceremony area and the patio, so you guys can see from perspective this thing is really reliable in low power setting. So as we are approaching this rock over to the left with the light pole sticking out of it is where I was able to get good audio with no dropouts or interference whatsoever. But I did get transmission to the ceremony area as well. It was just that it was breaking up sometimes. But as for right now, I'm just using the simple half wave antennas that came with it. And this is the channel I'm on. And again, I'm literally getting audio from inside the building, that far away. And it's stopping. So I began to walk the speaker back from the ceremony area to where I thought I could find, where's the most reliable spot for good solid audio from in the building. And I found that spot to be at this rock with the light pole sticking out of it. So I want to remind you guys that I was operating in low power mode, and I think that to be even further with this unit, maybe I could have employed some paddle antennas and or put this thing in high powered mode with this original antennas. I think that would have made a difference, but it is what it is. And overall, it's a good solid unit. So let's move on to the next gig log. Okay, so here we are at the Gaylord Texan Resort, and I got a remote speaker out here, and the main speakers are in there in the stage. So I'm gonna walk you guys through all of that, but I just wanted to let you know that everything is sounding out here, right? Just so they can have a little cocktail hour music going, you know, something for the bartenders, because at some point they may close these doors, they may not, I don't know. But either way, at least they'll have some kind of music going to keep them entertained out here, right? So there's that. And then of course I got another speaker in the back of the room over there. So I wanted to, I'm not gonna go over there per se, but I just wanted to show you guys what I'm working with, right? So we got that speaker on the wall right there. EVE verse 8 also. And we got 1,400 people in here right now. Stage is way over there. So here we go. So now what I did was replace the music that is Bluetoothing from this iPad to channel 3.4. And now we are transmitting from inside